Right now, while you're watching this, there is a second object orbiting Earth. It has been doing this for years, decades actually. Almost nobody, not a single major news channel, not a newspaper, not a school textbook, thought it was important enough to tell you. Not because it's classified, not because it's locked in some government folder, but because someone somewhere decided you didn't need to know. Today we're going to find out who knew, when they knew it, and why you're only hearing about this now. Earth has a second moon, not the moon, a different object. It's called 2016 HO3, and this is not a theory, not a rumor, not something from a conspiracy forum. This is an officially confirmed fact from NASA. They published the data themselves. They called it a quasi-satellite of Earth. And then, silence. No press conference, no headlines, no explanation. Just here's the fact. Carry on. If Earth has a second object in orbit, that's not a minor detail. That's not a footnote. That is a fundamental fact about our solar system. Why isn't this taught in school? Why isn't anyone talking about it? When most people hear the word moon, they picture the one we already know. That giant rock hanging in the sky every night, pulling the tides, inspiring poets for thousands of years. But the universe is more complicated than what we were taught in class. In our solar system, there's a category of objects that aren't quite moons, but behave exactly like moons. They travel their own orbit around the sun, but that orbit is so strangely tangled with Earth's orbit that the object loops around us for years, decades, without flying away, without falling, just nearby, like a shadow you never noticed. 2016 HO3 is exactly that kind of object. In size, it's somewhere between 40 and 100 meters across. Not a planet-killer asteroid, not a speck of dust, roughly the size of a skyscraper. And this skyscraper-sized object is near Earth, constantly. It races ahead of us in orbit, then falls behind, then races ahead again, like it's dancing around us in slow motion. Astronomers call this orbital resonance, two bodies in space, synchronized so precisely that one simply cannot drift away from the other. They're connected, not by gravity, but by geometry. And this connection, according to calculations, has existed for several hundred years. For several hundred years, this object has been with us. For several hundred years, none of us knew. So here's the question I want you to hold in your mind until the end of this video. When exactly did scientists find out, and what did they do with that information? The official discovery date is 2016. The Pan-STARRS telescope in Hawaii picks up the object. A few months later, NASA puts out a short press release. It says, a small asteroid has been found behaving as a quasi-satellite of Earth. It poses no threat. That's it. End of press release. A handful of science publications ran the story. A few astronomy blogs wrote short pieces, and that was it. Not CNN, not BBC, not a single major outlet thought it was worth explaining to people. Think about that. If a new species of dinosaur were found, it would be front page everywhere. If a new virus strain appeared, there'd be immediate briefings. But a second orbital object near our planet, nothing. Why? The first explanation is the simplest and the most uncomfortable. Media doesn't understand science. Editors look at the phrase quasi-satellite and don't know how to package it for an audience. It's not a killer asteroid, it's not aliens, it's complex orbital mechanics, not clickable. Next story. That means the importance of information is decided not by scientists, but by people thinking about clicks. But there's a second explanation, and it's more interesting. Objects like this, near-Earth asteroids in resonant orbits, have been tracked for decades. The SpaceGuard program, launched in the 90s, was created specifically to catalog everything moving near Earth. These programs are funded, they produce results, and those results are not always made public. The official answer to avoid panic. Every time the media got hold of an asteroid story near Earth, hysteria followed. Remember 2012, Apophis, the Mayan calendar end of the world? Scientists grew tired of calming people down. Easier not to announce, filter it, release it in controlled doses. This isn't a conspiracy in the Hollywood sense, it's a bureaucratic decision made quietly, without malicious intent. And that's exactly why it works so well. If that makes you a little angry, hit the like button, that's a fair reaction. Pan-STARRS is not a small amateur telescope on someone's roof. It's one of the most powerful survey systems in the world, located in Hawaii, built with taxpayer money. Its job is to scan the sky every night and log everything that moves. Here's a question I haven't seen in a single article about HO3. Were there earlier observations before the official discovery? The orbit of HO3 is calculated with high precision. Scientists say it's been near us for roughly 100 years. That means the object was predictable enough to have been detected earlier. So why 2016? Why not before? That's not a rhetorical question. That's a real question with no public answer from official science. In 2023, the object received a new name, Kamo'oalewa, a Hawaiian word that roughly means oscillating celestial fragment. A 2021 study published in Nature Communications found something almost nobody is talking about. The spectral signature of Kamo'oalewa, the way it reflects light, is remarkably similar to lunar rock. Not to a typical asteroid, not to a random rock from the asteroid belt, to lunar rock. That means there's a real possibility that Kamo'oalewa is a fragment of our own moon, a piece that broke off millions of years ago during some ancient impact, and has been drifting nearby ever since, like a lost child who can't quite leave home. That finding was published in a peer-reviewed scientific journal. It passed scrutiny, it is real. And you're probably hearing about it for the first time right now. That's your information environment. Subscribe to this channel if you're new here. This is exactly what we do. Facts that exist, documents that are published, discoveries that are made, but somehow never reach most people. So here are 3 versions of why you didn't know about this sooner. Version 1, the media filter. Nobody decided to hide this. Nobody decided to tell it either. Version 2, managed disclosure. Scientific agencies deliberately control the flow of information about objects near Earth. This isn't a conspiracy, it's a policy. The difference matters, but the result is the same. Version 3, and this is the most uncomfortable one, we simply don't ask. The information about Kamo'oalewa was available, the papers were published, the press releases went out, but nobody clicked. Nobody asked. Nobody demanded an explanation. If that's true, then the silence around Earth's second moon isn't anyone's fault, it's our collective indifference. I'll leave you to decide which version feels most true. I'm not going to make that choice for you. Kamo'oalewa is not the last object like this. Scientists have confirmed several other quasi-satellites of Earth. The solar system constantly trades bodies, asteroids shift orbits, get captured, drift away. Earth is not a passive observer in this process, it's a participant. What we thought was quiet, empty space around us is actually a living, dynamic system we have barely begun to understand. That's not frightening, that's extraordinary. But you can only feel wonder about something you know exists, and you can only know when someone decides to tell you. That's why this channel exists, not to frighten, not to build theories, but to take what is already known and bring it to people who want to understand the world more clearly than their newsfeed allows. Write in the comments, had you heard of Kamo'oalewa before today? I'm genuinely curious. It shows how far or how close this information has actually traveled. If you've made it to this point, you're not indifferent. You're exactly the person this is made for. Share this with one person who you think would also want to know. That's the best thing you can do with information. Pass it on. Kamo'oalewa continues its slow dance around Earth right now. It was here yesterday, it will be here tomorrow, and for several hundred more years after that. Silent, invisible to the naked eye, unknown to most people on the planet it accompanies. There's something almost poetic about that. An object that was always nearby, that nobody noticed, that isn't going anywhere. Good night, Kamo'oalewa. We finally know you're here.